All right, let's get straight to it. We're here to break down a protocol, a mindset designed to turn your worst moments, your biggest tragedies, into your greatest weapons.
Think about this for a second. When tragedy strikes, weak men, they cry. And they ask, why me? But dangerous men, they look at the exact same chaos. They smile. And they ask, how can I use this to outperform my competition? Welcome to the Amor Fati protocol.
But hold on, smile at a tragedy? I mean, come on. If you get betrayed, if your business goes bankrupt, if you lose everything, isn't it just a normal biological response to grieve, to feel like a victim? Well, let's diagnose that very impulse.
Here's the truth. Normal is exactly what keeps you weak. Our society practically rewards you with sympathy when you complain. But let's be honest, sympathy doesn't build empires. Biologically, the moment you put on that victim identity, you're surrendering all your agency. You're basically telling the universe, hey, I'm just a passenger here. The conqueror, on the other hand, completely rejects this. They don't just try to survive the storm, they're figuring out how to harness its kinetic energy.
So where do we start? The foundation for this mental shift actually comes from the Stoics. The best way to think about it is like this. A fire doesn't complain about the wood it's given, right? No, it consumes the obstacle and uses it as high-octane fuel to burn even brighter.
That right there is the essence of Stoic alchemy. But how do you actually apply that when you're sitting in the middle of a disaster? Well, the Roman Emperor Marcus Aurelius gave us the formula. He said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way.
The key to all of this is something called absolute cognitive reframing. Where an average person sees a brick wall, the dangerous person sees raw material. Think about it. Your business partner betrayed you? Perfect. You just paid for a very expensive masterclass in operational security and human nature. You don't just get over the obstacle, you metabolize it. You turn that chaos into fuel.
But look, Stoic acceptance. That's just the foundation. That's just level 1. To truly weaponize adversity, we have to escalate the philosophy. This means you don't just tolerate your suffering, no. You must violently fall in love with your darkest moments. Love the pain? Yeah, you heard me. That's Friedrich Nietzsche's big idea, Amor Fati. And you might be thinking, isn't that just a coping mechanism? It's the exact opposite. Coping is wishing the past was different. Amor Fati demands that you look at the absolute worst moment of your life, stare it right in the face and say, I would not change a single second of this because this exact pain is forging me into a weapon. And this slide right here shows you that critical upgrade. You see, the Stoics endured pain to find peace because they believed in a rational universe. But Nietzsche, he saw a chaotic universe and commanded us to love the pain because it's the ultimate catalyst for power. When you can truly embrace tragedy, you strip it of its ability to harm you. You literally become untouchable.
Okay, so this brings us to the fuel source. What powers all of this? It's simple. Pain. Pain is the most abundant, free source of energy on the planet. And the most elite performers, they don't heal from tragedy, they weaponize it.
A perfect modern example is the retired Navy SEAL, David Goggins. You know, happiness and comfort, they're terrible motivators. They just make you complacent. But that dark, burning desire to prove your enemies wrong, the cold fury from a betrayal, that is limitless, pure nuclear energy. Goggins calls this his cookie jar, a mental stockpile of every single time you overcame suffering.
And this gives us a practical technique. So when you're facing agony, when you want to quit, you access that mental cookie jar. You reach in, you recall a past victory over pain, and you use that memory as cold, hard evidence of your own power. You use it as high-octane fuel to just keep pushing forward. This isn't some wishful thinking, it's evidence-based self-belief. Now, here's the crucial point. This entire protocol creates an asymmetric advantage. The person who has lost everything and has learned to smile in the dark, well, that person is the most dangerous entity on any battlefield. Look, in any competition, the winner is almost always the one with the highest threshold for suffering. Your competitors are fragile. They panic when things get hard. But if you've trained yourself to actually love the chaos, you have an almost supernatural advantage. While they're paralyzed by fear, you are executing.
This all boils down to a single final directive, a command for execution. This is the Chaos Protocol.
Stop asking the universe for an easier life. Instead, ask it for a heavier burden, and then carry it while you laugh. So I'm going to leave you with this question. When your greatest tragedy arrives, and trust me, it will, are you going to let it be your excuse for failure? Or are you going to make it the cornerstone of your empire?
The choice is yours.